Hello my planner pals and welcome back. And if you're new here, then thank you for joining me and giving me a try. So today we've got a little bit of a tips, tricks kind of video, like a planner hacks kind of video. And it is for the planner challenge that Reenie and I host, Reenie from the Enchanter Planner, which is the Planner TNT challenge. I have hopefully put the hashtag right here. Planner TNT challenge. And for November, that challenge is No Sticker Book November. So your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to do a planner spread with no sticker books. Now, to help you along the way, Reenie and I are doing a collab video. So I'm going to share with you 7 ways that you can, or 7 alternatives to using things other than sticker books in your planner. And then I'll leave a link in the description where you can pop over to Reenie's channel and she will show you 7 more ways. All right, so the first one is that you can use scrapbook paper. Now, if you haven't seen our September videos on ways to use scrapbook paper, I will leave those links in the description as well. Different ways that you can use scrapbook paper in your spreads. But here are some of my spreads from earlier this year. All right, so as we can see here, this is using pattern paper. This was some American Crafts patterned paper that I just cut up. This is the reverse side of this pattern, and I've just kind of reflipped it and put it in here. So that's how I use pattern paper there. For this one, this was again American Crafts pattern paper, but I just cut out the little designs and stuck them around the page. Now, obviously, I've used other stickers. This was patterned paper. This was patterned paper. This was patterned paper. 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 All of these little accents were all patterned paper. Use your patterned paper. Again, patterned paper, and I again combined it with some stickers, but I could have just used that patterned paper, some pen, and I was done. And then I used that same pattern paper. This was from the little scraps that was left off the sheet after I'd used it, I think 3 times. And I just cut them out and put them in here, added a couple of little spare stickers, and then I was done. But this didn't even have to be there. It would have been enough with just these. Perfect. So you can even use these ideas in your mini. This is another example of using patterned paper. So this is all patterned paper, and this was the reverse side of that plant paper, the one I was talking about earlier. This was the reverse side. So I've got the mandala here. This is just a little bit of washi. I printed out these and then just stuck them down. So there's no stickers on here. Wait, sorry, that one. That's one sticker. But I could have done that with the stencil. So, yeah. This is another example of pattern paper. This was from September recently. I loved this. You loved this. It was just amazing. I loved this patterned paper. I did mix it with some stickers, but this could have just been the patterned paper the whole way across. All the way across here, that would have been fine. And then you just use this with some stencils and you're good. Okay, so that's one way that you can use no stickers in your spreads. You can just use scrapbook paper and some pens and other kind of supplies, and then you are done. All right, the second thing that you can do is you can use coloring pages. Now, I've done a couple of these and I love doing these because I love creating and coloring and all things kind of like that. But you're not limited to coloring pages. You can do paints. You can get your kids to join in some of your kids' stuff. And I'll show you a couple of spreads that I've got from earlier this year of coloring pages in my planner. So this is an example of using coloring pages in your planner. Now, if you don't have coloring pages, you can just print some online. These are my printables available in my Etsy store, and I'm going to show you why I've kept these, because these have got a corner missing. You see how they've got a corner missing here? Because when I had my dog, he took it and promptly ripped all of one edge of the little pile that I had here. But I've kept these just to use them in case I want to do something like this again, so that I can just put them here, give it a rip, and then give that a rip, put that there, and do something like that. I've kept them just in case, but I think I've got a full set. But again, these are just printables. You can get these in my Etsy store, link in the description. So it also comes in a physical version that you can buy if you're not interested in printables and you just wanted to buy the actual product. You get a coloring page book, and the mandala one is also available. These are available on Amazon, link in the description, hopefully, if I remember. All right, this is another example of using a coloring page that I've done. So this was a coloring page. This was just out of a kid's coloring book. All right, another thing that you can do rather than using sticker books in your planner is to use vinyl. So if you have some of the Dollar Tree vinyl, but you don't have a Cricut and you're like, oh, well, I don't need to pick that up. It's a great way of using your vinyl to kind of create a fake pattern paper. And yes, I also have a video on ways that you can use vinyl in your planner, which I will link right here and in the description. So check out that as well. But I'm going to share with you a couple of spreads that I've done recently using vinyl in my planner. This one was an example of using vinyl in your planner. So you can just do a big strip. You can cut this up. And again, I'm going to leave a link here on how different ways that you can use vinyl in your planner. But all I had to do was put this in, some to-do list, some bullets, and that would have been perfect. It's only because this is my kind of journal more than my planner that I put more stickers in. Yeah, tons of ways to use vinyl. So this just comes on the roll and you get a ton of this. You get a ton of this. And this is another example of using your vinyl. So this rose here, this black and white rose, this is vinyl. This was from the Dollar Tree and this was vinyl. These were Post-it notes. This was a printable. The only stickers are these and these. And even these black lines here that you can see going diagonal across the side, that's black vinyl. I've just cut it into a very thin strip and used it there. All right, the fourth thing that I'm going to share with you on how you can, not use sticker books and use other things in your planner. And the fourth one is that you can use stencils. Now, if you've done bullet journaling like I have, you'll have a bunch of these. And yes, these are a great way to use in addition with all of the other things that we've discussed here. If you're looking for like some bullets, some flags, some little designs, and this is just a set that I bought from Amazon. There are tons of them on Amazon, so you feel free to see what works for you. But yeah, they have all different little designs on them, different shapes. Some of them have little icons like this one. But yeah, that is another great way. And I will be using these in a spread tomorrow. Some point this week, I'll be using these in a spread because these are a go-to for me. All right, the fifth way that you can get decorative without using sticker books is to use magazines. Now, I did a whole video on how I go through a magazine. And it can be any kind of magazine. I've just got the one that I got delivered recently here. I didn't even order this. This was like a one that just arrived at the door. But yeah, and I shared with you how I look creatively at magazines for using them in my planner. That is also something that I've done in currently pages, in spreads, in all sorts of things, in all sorts of ways. I always kind of go through them before I throw them out. So yes, I will link the video somewhere here and down below. But yeah, let's look at a couple of ways that I've used magazines in my planner. So this was another way that I used magazines. This was in, I think it was a yoga journal magazine. And I just loved the design of it. And I didn't like the divider for this month. So what I did was I just cut out the page, stuck it on top of the divider, and now I've got my own divider. So that is always an option. And then you can just use this page as lists or whatever you need. Especially good if you also could do this in a dashboard or something like that. So yeah, another idea for you there. This was another spread where I used magazines. Now the magazine is here. These words were actually cut out of a magazine. I'm gonna bring this up so you can see. So it's already done as is. I just cut the letters out of the magazine to use them here. But yeah, that's a great way. You can just cut your letters out and use them as that, because most magazines have something like this in with, the figures and stuff in them, and they kind of match. So yeah, if you've got a fashion magazine or something, use that. Now again, there's a ton of pen work on here. I didn't have to add these little stickers. I could have added post-it notes. I could have used my stencils. I could have used anything. I could have just used more of the magazine here instead. So yeah. And this is another example of using magazines in your spreads. Now I did use some other stickers, but this was a magazine. 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 The majority of this was a magazine. So yes, don't throw away your magazines. Give them a quick look through first, just in case you want to save anything. If you want more of this type of thing, then please let me know of like using magazines and stuff, because I do this all the time and I have a massive drawer of stuff that I need to go through. But yes, I will always cut stuff like that out. And the sixth way that you can use non-sticker book items is you can use cards and gift bags, that kind of gift giving stuff. And I've got a couple of examples off to the side here. All right, so this was a birthday card. This is like an inlay, so that it kind of comes open. So I could choose to use that as is, which is why I'm not cutting it up any further, but I could choose to use that as is, but this is layered. This gold is layered on top. So I could just choose to use the gold bit and use that, or I could take the bottom bit and use that as pattern paper. So yeah, always save stuff like this, and this I will show you in a second, but yes, this was a little keepsake from Disney World that I picked up, and I've used these in my planner too. But gift bags, stuff like that, cut them up, put them in your planner. So this one, I don't know which category I'm going to put this in, but it falls into a couple. This was memorabilia, so it's kind of trash because it was a leaflet, it was a treasure map for the game that we played, and this was the cards that we got from that. So again, you've got cards and kind of memorabilia type stuff, which I guess is an extra category. So yes. All right, and the final way that I want to show you that you can use in your planner is to use trash. Now, not like in the sense of like banana peels and stuff, but things like especially paper supplies, vinyl, leaflets, magazines, etc., like stuff that you're going to throw away. Have a kind of look at it with a different eye, because I looked at some of the leaflets that we got, and we had one that had this little flap on it. It was kind of like flapped in here, and I just ripped it off, and I've got a little thing there of Mickey and Minnie and Goofy, Donald and Pluto. This was just trash. It was just a leaflet I was going to throw out, and I was like, yep, I'm just going to rip that bit off, and that will go in my little drawer of ephemera that I can put on my planners or projects. The other thing that I will say is if you have notepads like this one, like this is from my girlfriend, Shell, at Celebrate the Little Things. I'll link her Etsy shop down below, but she makes these beautiful notepads. And when I've made a little list here, rather than throw this away, what I can do instead is cut that bit off, and I can just tear it and then use it as pattern paper. So use these and then rip them off, use them as something else. In the same way that I would use something like this, and Reenie is going to go over like these kind of products, but when I've made my list and I've used it as a to-do list, rather than throw it away, I can just cut that out. Yeah, that I would get a decorative box out of there, 1.5 inches by 3.5. So I could get a few decorative boxes out of that. So don't throw those things away. Cut them up, put them in a little drawer or a little packet somewhere and save them. Look at things a little bit differently. Chocolate bar wrappers, they have the foil on them. Cut them out, put them in your planner. You've got like some foil squares or something. Think about things a little bit differently. All right, I hope that helped show you 7 ways that you can join in with No Sticker Book November, and pop over to Reenies' channel and check out her video. The link is in the description. If you enjoyed this, then give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time, my planner pals. Bye!